Hello everyone, a very good evening. This is Kawaljeet. So guys, we will be starting in few minutes. Let's other folk joins in. So we are waiting for them. So let's wait for a couple of more minutes and then we will kick off the session. Before proceeding, few of the housekeeping things which we have to consider that you all are on mute mode and this is only a one-way communication. I'll only be presenting you a demo on AWS. But at any point of time, you will be having queries. There is a question section onto the right-hand side of the screen. You are more than welcome to share your question and I will take those questions one by one and I'll answer those questions. And I'm assuming that my screen is visible to you and my voice is also audible to you. Any one of you kindly give me a quick acknowledgement on our question section that I am audible and my screen is visible to you. Any one of you? Great. As I can see that Vishwajit has acknowledged, yes, I am audible and screen is visible. Great. So guys, welcome all. Let's wait for one more minute and then we will start. Okay guys, let's start. On the behalf of Ethans, I welcome you all for this online demo session. And I can see that I'm having a great number of audience as attendees for this session. Guys, whenever I start my session, I do not start my session with the introduction. And I'm not going to give you my introduction. I'll introduce myself in the last of the session. Plus, I'm a kind of a guy who will never run you through any PPT. So I don't believe in PPTs. I'll tell you each and everything on the notepad. And at any point of time, if you are having queries related to any topic, any demo session, on the goings on the demo session, you can raise your hand. You can put in those questions in the question section. I'm happy to answer your queries. And yes, I will never run you through any PPT. This is the same thing which I'll follow in my whole of the sessions for AWS because I believe in hands-on sessions. So all the sessions, including demo, will be a complete hands-on session. So let's start the session. Let's kick off the session. And let's start with first question, that is, what is AWS? Guys, whenever I have to give an answer that what is the AWS, I simply start with a very simple example. So I'm assuming a liberty that you all are using smartphones. If you are using smartphones, you must be familiar with the applications for the category of food. You must be familiar with the applications for the category of food. And if I'll say that you also will be familiar with the applications category for booking a cab and for chatting as well. When I say what all are the applications which you are using for ordering food, you will say we are using Zomato, we are using Uber Eats, and we are using Food Panda. And when I'm saying what all are the applications which you are using for booking cab, you will say we are using Uber, we are using Ola, we are using Zoom Car. And same is the case with the third category. When I'm saying what all are the applications which you are using for chatting, you will say that I'm using WhatsApp, I'm using Viber, I'm using Hike. So let's closely look onto these categories. I'm saying that there are three categories which I have listed from your cell phone, and those applications are for food categories, cab categories, and a chatting category. So when I'm saying a food, you are saying that I'm using Zomato, Uber Eats, and Food Panda. When I'm saying cab, you are saying I'm using Uber, Ola, and Zoom. When I'm saying chatting, you are saying I'm using WhatsApp, Viber, and Hike. Guys, if you closely look onto these three categories and the applications under these three categories, you will find these are the applications which rests on one centralized console, and that centralized console is your cell phone, right? So these all applications are resting on one centralized console, and that centralized console is known as your cell phone. But the question is, why these applications are resting onto my cell phone? The answer is very simple. Because these applications wants to make your day-to-day life very easy. The answer is very simple, because these applications wants to make your day-to-day life very easy. Just consider a scenario, guys, when these applications were not there on our smartphones. At that point of time, say if I have decided that I want to order something from a restaurant, and I'm considering that these applications are not there on my smartphone, what I have to do, that means I have to physically visit that dhaba or restaurant so that I can pick my cooked food and come back to my location and I have it. But these days the scenario is entirely different. If say I'm having a food craving and say I want to eat a food from XYZ dhaba, so there are a hell lot of options available onto your smartphone by which you can order that food. What you have to do, you have to simply spin that application. So you have to simply spin that Zomato application. You have to use it. You have to order a food. You have to choose a restaurant and a type of a food, and the food will get delivered onto your doorstep. That means if I'll say these days, this food is acting as a service, तो मैं गलत नहीं होऊंगा. If I'm saying these days, if I want to commute from one place to another, I simply have to spin that application. I have to put in my to and fro destination, and I can board that cab. That means if I'll say cab is also acting as a service these days, तो मैं तब भी गलत नहीं होऊंगा. And I can say these chatting is also acting as a service, तो भी मैं गलत नहीं होऊंगा. In short, when I'm saying all these applications or all these services which are available on one centralized console, and these applications giving service to you, wherein you can within few clicks call your food, within few clicks can call your cab, and within few clicks you can chat with your friend. So these days all those things are acting as a service with the help of your cell phone, and your cell phone is acting as a centralized console where these services are resting. Guys, likewise these services and likewise your cell phone, we are having another console and another set of services. That another console is known as Amazon Management Console, and the services and another set of services which are resting on top of that console, those services are known as Amazon Web Services. Now you must be thinking, Kawaljeet, that if you are saying that Amazon Web Services and those services are resting on Amazon Management Console, what all are those services and why those services are resting onto Amazon's Management Console? As I told you, the categories which I have listed over here and the applications under those categories which I listed, these applications are resting on one centralized console, that is your cell phone. The reason behind resting these services on the cell phone is they want to make your day-to-day life easy. And when I talk about this console, Amazon Management Console, and when I talk about these Amazon Web Services, why these Amazon Web Services are resting on these Amazon Management Console? The reason is again a simple. They also want to make your day-to-day life easy. But what sort of day-to-day life? Technical day-to-day life. These Amazon Web Services want to make your technical day-to-day life easy. Now let's understand what sort of technical day-to-day life and what kind of Amazon Web Services are present onto Amazon's console. When I talk about a day-to-day life, technical day-to-day life, let's consider one scenario. Say I'm taking one example wherein say I'm working for one service-based industry, and my project is a banking project, and my banking project says that I want to build a web application for my bank. When I'm saying that I have to build a web application for my bank, and I'm considering a scenario that I do not have any cloud vendor in the market. So I'm in a scenario wherein I have to create a web application for my bank, and I'm considering a scenario I do not have any cloud vendor in the market. Cloud vendor means I do not have Amazon Web Services, I do not have Azure, and I do not have GCP. And my requirement is, my client says, my bank says that I have to build a web application. When I have to build a web application, that means I need to look for these few basic things. on a high level side. The first thing which I need to decide is technical language. I need to decide a technical language, that is, in which language I'm going to code for my website. Will it be a Java? Will it be a Python? Or will it be any other language? The first thing which I have to decide is technical language. Second thing which I have to decide is, if it is a web application, which and that too for a bank, which database I'll be going for. Which database I'll be going for. Third thing which I'll be requiring, obviously it's a web application, I need a compute power. So which server I'll be going for. I also need a server. So which server I'll be going for. Fourth thing, I need to decide a build team which will build this application for me. And fifth thing which I have to decide is who will be the infrastructure support team for me. So these are the 5 things I have listed on a very high level side, that what all are the things which I'll be requiring for building a web application for bank. And guys, remember, I'm considering a scenario wherein I do not have any cloud vendor in the market. So when I'm saying I do not have any cloud vendor in the market and I have to decide with which terms I'll be going for, when I'm saying say technical language, I need to decide मैं Java में code करूंगा, I'll write my code in Python or in any other language. Second thing, when I'm saying that I have to going for a database, that means I need to get in touch with a vendor who will be giving me a service of database. That means I will get in touch with Oracle, I will get in touch with Teradata, I'll get in touch with Sybase, I'll get in touch with all these vendors who will be giving me a service of a database. Why I'll get in touch with different vendors? So that I can have a price listing and I will be in a position wherein I can choose best suited option for me. That's why I'll get in touch with these 3 or these different database vendors. Same is the case with the server. For the vendors who will be providing me a service of servers, I'll ask them, what is your service level agreement? If I'll signing an agreement wherein I'll be requiring your server for 3 years, how much you will charge and what will be the charge for your services after sales? And I will get in touch with maybe SUSE, I will get in touch with maybe Ubuntu, maybe I'll touch with Red Hat so that I can commission a Linux server for me. And when I'm saying a build team, and as I told you, say for an example, I'm working in a service-based industry, so obviously the bank who wants to build this web application for me, he will get in touch with different organizations. He will get in touch with maybe Wipro, maybe TCS, or maybe Capgemini, so that they can start commissioning this project for them. And obviously they will also get in touch with Cisco or Avaya. Cisco or Avaya, so that they can set their infrastructure setup. So guys, when I'm saying for building a single web application, I need to get in touch with different vendors. And these all are the vendors which are scattered in manner. I'm not finding a listing of all these vendors at one place. These all are scattered. So guys, with the evolution of cloud world, these cloud vendors, they are saying whenever you have any technical problem, and to all your technical problem, we have one-stop solution for you. If you are saying a technical language, as in a cloud vendor, that is AWS, I support a platform for different languages. You just name it, and we have a support for that. Very nice. When I talk about a database, as an AWS, I support 6 relational databases. I support 2 cache databases. I support 1 columnar database. I support 1 columnar database. I support 1 key value store database. I support 1 key value store database. And when you are talking about server, yes, AWS supports wide variety of servers. You just name it and we have it. AWS says, we means AWS. AWS says, I support different Linux servers. I support almost all flavors of Windows. You just name it and I have it. When I talk about a build team for AWS, AWS says this is the thing which I do not support, and this is the thing for which you are gathered for this demo session. So you will be the guys who will be building this web application for your bank or for your client using different technologies present as a service onto the console of AWS. When I talk about build team, so guys, for this section you are here for this demo session so that you will get to know how we can use all these things from one centralized console, that is AWS. And when I talk about the infra, let's start a conversation with AWS. AWS, do you support infra? Do you give a support for infrastructure? AWS says yes, but as a developer, you need to build an infrastructure for your organization, for your client, and then if you are facing any problem, we will support you, but then we will charge you. So that means with the evolution of these cloud vendors, especially with Amazon Web Services, we got a one-stop solution wherein we can have all the technical solutions placed under one umbrella. If I have to get in touch with for anything, for any technical problem, I can happily get in touch with this cloud vendor, which is Amazon Web Services. I'm assuming by now you understood what Amazon services are and what sort of services which are present onto Amazon's console. So guys, whenever we say that as an, okay, I can see that there is one query which says what exactly is a database. As I'm from mechanical background, guys, I'll be taking your queries at the end of the session. I'll tell you what all are the databases which are present in AWS. Okay, fine. So guys, whenever I'll say as an associate, I want to propel my career in AWS, what all sort of things I need to learn, or what all sort of things I need to get a technology stack of. So guys, whenever, my name is Kawaljeet, guys, and I'm having total experience of 9 years. And whenever some students say me this question that, Kawaljeet sir, that we want to propel our career, we want to start our career in AWS, how we can start our career in AWS? What all are the things which we need to know? So guys, the first thing which we need to understand is, in AWS, as an infrastructure, components are already present in AWS. And as an AWS developer or AWS architect, you need to know how to use that component, how we can use all those different components for one project, or simply to say, whenever I have to build an application, the first thing which I have to do is I have to build an architecture. The first thing I have to do is I have to design an architecture, and then I have to build that architecture, and at last I have to build application on top of it. So when I listed these three things, architecture, designing architecture, building architecture, and building an application on top of it. When I'm talking about these three things, we need to understand one thing. Guys, whenever we talk about AWS, most of the candidates and most of the attendees which are present in this session must be thinking, say, Kawaljeet, मेरे को AWS सीखना है, and AWS is all about a graphical user interface. At the end of the day, what AWS is, Kawaljeet, we will be getting in touch with AWS through a graphical user interface, because we have a graphical user interface of AWS wherein we can create an infrastructure and we can use that infrastructure for our applications. So when, Kawaljeet, you are saying that you will teach us AWS, what exactly you will teach? Are you going to teach a graphical user interface of AWS? So guys, whenever I talk about AWS, I agree, AWS is a graphical user interface. But then just imagine a scenario. As a developer, you have built an infrastructure. via using graphical user interface, GUI, an interactive interface of Amazon's web services. So for an example, you build that infrastructure, but just think of a scenario wherein you have to promote your infrastructure to next environment, which is testing, so that you can get it tested. How you can do that? As I am saying, most of the students or most of the attendees must be thinking that this AWS is all about a graphical user interface. But then if it is all about a graphical user interface, I am giving you a scenario wherein you have to build an infrastructure. Yes, you are done with that infrastructure. But just imagine a scenario wherein you have to promote your infrastructure to next environment. When I'm saying you have to promote your infrastructure to next environment, why I have to promote? So that I can get it tested. How you gonna do that? Then there is a part comes, that is the part which comes, that is coding as a infrastructure. The part comes coding as an infrastructure. This is also known as IaaC, and the abbreviation of IaaC is infrastructure as a code. You can also call it as infrastructure as a code. Now, what is this infrastructure as a code? Okay, let me explain what is the infrastructure as a code. Guys, wherever you go to learn AWS, but always remember one thing. If your trainer is saying that I'm going to teach you only a GUI part of AWS, then please refrain yourself from that institute or that trainer. Because on real-time basis, what happens? You do a GUI part of AWS also, but then you'll also talk with AWS through programming language. You also talk with AWS through command line interface, or I can say you can also talk with your AWS through your programming editors. That means if I'm saying that I want to become an AWS developer, I need to learn how I can get in touch with AWS key services through programming editor, through PyCharm, through Linux console, or through Terraform. How I can start interacting, start a communication with AWS through all these different languages and through all these different technologies. That is the thing which you have to learn. If you really want to propel your career in AWS, if you really want to join an organization on real-time basis, guys, you need to learn GUI as well as this part. How I can code my infrastructure, how I can create my infrastructure with the help of a code. That is the thing which will bring you money in the market, which will make your package exponentially high. So guys, I'm going to teach you AWS GUI, in which I'm going to teach you 25 services. I'm going to teach you 25 services. Also, I'm going to teach you IaaC part. Guys, you can happily get in touch with my previous students from previous batch. They will betterly explain you that what is my way of teaching. I mostly focus on hands-on things. I do not focus on PPTs. I do not focus on simple verbal things. I focus on the things which we can do with our own hands. Real-time scenarios, how things work in real-time organization. That is the thing on which I gave a lot of stress. So guys, in AWS, I can have 3 roles. I can have 3 roles. What those 3 roles are? You can become an admin for AWS. You can also become an architect for AWS, and you can also become a developer. But then guys, when I say admin, architect, and a developer, these days you will find only one role for architect and developer. That means if company is hiring you, for an architect, chances are there, what chances are there? That is quite obvious. They will use you as a developer. If company is hiring you as a developer, they are also expecting you to be a architect also. But then for admin, yes, altogether we are having a different opening for AWS admins. Because when we talk about AWS admin, they will not hire you only for AWS admin. They will hire you for AWS admin, Azure admin, database admin. So they will look for different admin skills for different technologies. But then yes, for AWS, they will hire you architect as an as developer. So when I say architect, what is the role of an architect? The role of an architect is you have to design your project. You have to design your infrastructure, that how that project will be using that infrastructure. And as a developer, you have to start building that infrastructure. Guys, when I say architect, architect means you have to build that design for your organization, for your client. And after building that design, you need to start developing that design. That is a developer role which you have to perform. And when I say a developer role, how you gonna perform this developer role? Either from GUI or from infrastructure as code part or from both. In most of the cases, you have to do both the things. You should know how I can use a graphical user interface. You should know how I can use a programming language for my coding. Now you must be thinking, which programming language? So guys, the very famous programming language for building infrastructure, first one is Linux, second one is Python, and third one is HCL, which is nothing but a Terraform. So now you must be having question, Kawaljeet, are we going to learn Linux in this course? Are we going to learn Python in this course? Or are we going to learn HCL? HCL stands for HashiCorp coding language, which is used by Terraform. In short, it's a Terraform. Are we going to learn Terraform in this course? Answer is yes. We are going to learn GUI first, and then I'm having 6 hours dedicated class for this Linux. I'll teach you how we can use Linux with AWS and how we can start scripting on Linux. And then I'll teach you a Python, a part of a Python with the help of which you will be very easily able to communicate with AWS. Guys, I'm not going to teach you how to build a web application in Python, or I'm not going to teach you how I can use data frames in Python. Obviously, this is not a machine learning class. This is an AWS class. But then yes, I'm going to teach you that much Python with the help of which you can happily talk with AWS. And yes, I can teach you that much Terraform, again with the help of which you will be happily start talking with AWS. Or simply to say, when I'm saying that I want to create my infrastructure, but then I want to create that infrastructure with Terraform, you will be in a position after this class that you will be able to create your infrastructure with Terraform. Guys, talking about certifications, what all sort of certifications we can give after this course? So you can give 2 certifications happily. First one is Architect Associate, AWS Architect Associate, and you can give AWS Developer Associate. You can happily appear for these 2 certifications. Now you must be thinking how we can appear for this certification. Guys, I teach you things in such a manner wherein I will be explaining you that what all sort of questions will be asked in certifications, how to answer those questions, or simply to say at this point of time, do not worry about certification, because I am the concerned person for you who will help you in clearing your certification exam. And I'll promise you that I'll develop you in such a manner wherein you will be very happily able to create or clear this certification. And guys, my main intention is to make you a developer in AWS. Now, why should we learn a developer, or why we will become a developer? The answer is very simple. When I'll make you a developer is the one who will get to know admin part as well. And if you are a real-time developer and if you are learning things on a real-time basis, 100% chances are there you will definitely learn an architect part, because you are the one who will be consuming that service. You are the one who will be creating those services, and you are the one who will be integrating those services. When you are creating those services, integrating those services, and consuming those services, obviously automatically you will get to know admin part and as well as architect part. And yes, developer, that is my promise to you. I'll create you, I'll make you a developer. and that is for sure. If you will be following my lessons, if you will be following my homework assignments, I'm 120% sure that no one can stop you in getting a job in the market as an AWS developer. Guys, my introduction, I told you my name is Kawaljeet. I'm having total experience of 9+ years. In those 9 years, I get the chance to get myself certified in 7 certifications. I have started my career with Java, and nowadays I am working in one of the organization wherein I am a lead architect for Azure and AWS both with Python. I'm also working on AI ops in my organization, and we are using MoveSoft as a tool. So I am currently I'm running 4 projects in my organization. So I am dedicated for all those 4 projects. So guys, this is all about AWS, and yes, if you are enrolling into this course, that is my promise that I will make you a pro in AWS, and I'll also teaching you Linux, Python, and HCL. How much Linux, Python, and HCL? I'm teaching you that much languages which you will be requiring, or with the help of which you can happily talk with AWS. That's it from my side, guys. I'm opening this session for queries. Go ahead and ask queries. Okay, I'll take my queries from Narendra Rao. Narendra Rao told that please introduce yourself. I have already done that. And then Neeraj Joshi. Neeraj asked a question, what exactly is database? And I am from a mechanical background. I am unaware of these terms. Okay, Neeraj, when you enroll into the course, I'll make you understand what a database is. Guys, my forte of explaining the things is I start from very basic, very basic. I do not, and I never starts from those difficult jargons and difficult terminologies, because I will treat you as an empty vessel and I will fill that vessel in my own way. So I'll be telling you each and everything in the session, a very minute details, and I'm following very basic thing. At any point of time in the class you are not getting anything, please stop me right away. Please stop me at that point. I will never go ahead until or unless I'm not able to clear your doubt. That is a simple approach which I follow in my class. Okay, so next question was, I want to go into cloud security. Please tell something about it. Prathamesh. Okay, he has left the session. Okay, I can see the screen but not audible. I'm having 4+ years of experience as a manual testing and overall experience of around 7 years. What opportunities we will be open for learners like me? Rahul. Okay, Rahul Chinchalkar, when I talk about opportunities for you, obviously developer will, if you are specifically looking for a development profile or a profile in AWS, then yes, this is a correct course for you. But then yes, if you really want to continue your role in testing, I'm teaching you Python as well. So obviously the things which are developed in AWS, that will also get tested. So if you want to propel your career in testing all those infrastructures and application on cloud, this is a right place and a right class for you to start with. Plus, I'm also teaching you Python. If you do not want to continue in AWS, you can mark Python as your primary skill. And you can start with Python also, because nowadays Python is an extensive language which has been used at different platforms. And you can pursue your career in Python also. So it's not all about AWS, but then yes, final calls is yours. But then if you want to propel your career in AWS with Python, you will be very easily able to test all those things which will be created by AWS developers. But then yes, as I told you, Python is the leading language which has been accepted in a broader sense in the organizations. So you can pursue your career with Python also. Rishi Dutt, for which company you have started your job? Okay, that is a kind of a personal question, Rishi. But then, okay, I have started my career with Capgemini. Azure and AWS difference, please. Okay, guys. So when I talk about Azure and AWS difference, so it's like they are the son of one single mother. I'm not finding any difference in Azure and AWS because I'm working on both the technologies. But then when I talk about Azure, the things which are very easy in AWS, those things are very complicated in Azure. So Azure has worthlessly created things complicated. I don't know why. But then all those things are very easy in AWS, very, very easy. That means if there are few of the services in which the features are available at very first point in AWS. But when we talk about Azure, if you want to explore those features are worthlessly complicated in Azure. Even when you talk with Azure through programming language, you will find that difficulty. You can feel that heat. That Azure has worthlessly, or these Microsoft guys worthlessly created Azure so complicated. But then yes, these both are leading vendors in the market, Azure and AWS. At the end of the day, if you are learning any cloud platform, guys, you can happily work on another. It's not like if today I'm working on Azure and tomorrow I'll not be able to work on AWS. No. If today you are working on AWS or today you are working on Azure and tomorrow if you want to shift your cloud platform, you can happily do that. Even this is the thing which is true with GCP also. Because the concepts in any cloud vendor or any cloud platform are same. The only thing is they have changed the naming convention. Nomenclature is different. But then yes, you can propel your career in any of the cloud provider, either Azure or AWS. Almost both these vendors are having equal share in the market. And yes, AWS is a champ in the market. The reason is AWS is having hell lot of services which has been already automated in AWS. The only thing we have to call them and use them. That's it. But for Azure, they are still in exploring phase. They are still developing a lot of applications and services on Azure. But then there are a lot of services and applications which are already developed on AWS. And Azure, most of the things Azure is copying from AWS. So if you started learning AWS, you will find Azure is again following all the mechanism and all the things which have already AWS has already developed. But then in short, yes, they both have an equal market share. It's your call, final call will be yours with which technology you want to go for. Because at the end of the day, if you are learning AWS today, you can happily work on Azure tomorrow. Or if you are learning Azure today, you can happily work on AWS tomorrow. Okay, Kawaljeet, it's really great attending your session. I have a basic question. Who should go for associate certificate? A person having 7 to 8 years of experience of IT, experience of SQL, 2 to 3 years of experience in SQL. How will the person having 7 to 8 years of experience of IT SQL experience justify his tenure and career switch his job during an interview? Okay, Chiranjeev, this is a question from a Chiranjeev Mukherjee. So Chiranjeev, to answer your query, whenever I'm considering any associate who is having more than 8 years of experience, yes, you have to portray yourself that you must have a sack full of technologies with you. You will not be able to portray yourself with only a technical skill as SQL in the market. Yes, you have to develop secondary skills. You have to develop a skill of AWS. You have to develop a skill of Linux, Python, and then Terraform. If you will be developing all these skills, if you will be developing all these skills in your profile and you are showcasing that, yes, I'm having a good knowledge of these skills, you will be very easily able to portray yourself in the market. And Chiranjeev, one thing is very clear that after 8 years of experience, you need to build secondary skill set with you so that you should have a sack full of technologies with you. And in interview, you can portray yourself. Yes, I know all those things. And how that thing will be building, that thing will you will be built only and only with by learning and trying new technologies. That's it. So in simple words, yes, you need to focus on AWS, you need to focus on Linux, you need to focus on any programming language. It's not only Python. If you are good in Node.js, you can still again portray yourself in the market. If you are good in Java, you can again portray yourself in the market. And believe me, you can sell yourself in the market in a very lucrative manner. You will be able to bag a good package from the market if you are saying you are a Python developer with AWS, you know Terraform with AWS. Believe me, these days companies are paying you for infrastructure as code. That is the thing which is a very hot skill in AWS. how we can build an infrastructure through coding. So if you're portraying yourself in the market that I know that how we can talk with AWS through infrastructure as a code, then yes, there are bright chances that you will get through. Next question is from Junaid. What requirements I need for my laptop? So 4 GB, Windows 64, 4 GB RAM, Windows 64, and any amount of hard disk will work for me. I'm from support team and I want to do AWS admin. Yes, Sumesh, you can join this course for AWS admin. Obviously, I already told you that I'll be teaching development part, and when I'm teaching a development part, AWS admin part will get automatically covered because I'm teaching you each and every service related to our work from a very basic, from a very beginning. How we can commission that service, how we can grant accesses, and how we can start using it. But then if you only and only looking for AWS admin in the market, if you are looking for a job of AWS admin in the market, you will not get that. You have to prepare secondary skill set of an admin as well. AWS admin, database admin, then Hadoop admin, maybe a Linux admin, because AWS admin का role बहुत कम रहता है market में. So you have to build secondary skill set for admin also. How much salary fresher will get after a completion of a course? Okay, guys, if I talk about salaries in cloud world, the current scenario is 3 lakhs per year of experience. That means if you are having 5 years of experience, you will get 15 lakh in the market. And if you are having 10 years of the experience, you will get 30 lakhs in the market. So simply to say, if you are a cloud developer, you can multiply your package, you can multiply 3 lakhs into number of your experience. So you can get that much package. And if I talk about a fresher will not get more than 3 lakhs of package in the market per annum. Okay, next query is from Junaid. I'm currently having with 2 GB RAM. Yes, Junaid, you can start. 2 GB will also suffice. That will work for us. But your system will be slow, but then we will cater that. No worries. I'm a Java developer having 6 years. Vishwajit ka question hai ye. I'm having a 6 years of experience. How this course will help me to boost my career? Vishwajit, if you are a Java developer, then AWS, please see, guys, candidates, do not go on my words only. So each and every information is one click away from you. If you really want to know that Java with AWS, will it be a killing skill in the market or not, simply create one fake file in the naukri.com or maybe monsterjob.com. You will get to know. That is a simple answer which I can give, because in AWS there are a hell lot of options, openings available in the market. But then yes, after lockdown, obviously not at this point of time, there are a hell lot of openings available in the market. Even in which organization I am working, we have still so many options and openings still open for AWS developers with a background of programming language. So Vishwajit, if you are having a good experience in Java, and if you are catering that Java experience with AWS, you will be able to bag a good package from the market, because that is a very niche skill. We do not have developers who have a knowledge of AWS plus Java in the market. Azure and AWS difference, want to know. I already told that. Will you teach us Python? Yes, I'll teach you that much Python, with the help of which you will be able to talk with AWS. Sir, there is a library for GUI. It is helpful in AWS. Yes, I'll be giving you all the notes related to AWS. Do not worry about any libraries. I'm from networking background, 4 years of experience. Okay, guys, whenever we were talking about these cloud services or cloud platforms or cloud vendors, your network, security, programming language, databases, all comes in picture whenever you talk about these cloud vendors. So if you're having any background of networking, database, any background of Linux, any background of databases, any background of ETL tools, that all is very helpful in AWS. Because at the end of the day, AWS is a kind of a platform, and it purely depends upon a kind of a project which you will be getting in the market. And on top of that platform, you can build any project, you can build any infrastructure. So it doesn't matter you are from which background. AWS, and the simple things to, if you want to learn AWS, that is, you must have a little bit of programming language. Rest I can build. Rest of the knowledge I'll build that. So in AWS, it's like a laptop, and on top of that laptop, you can build anything. So whatever experience do you have will work for AWS, either AWS or Azure. It will work. I'm taking next question. I'm working as a sport profile. How I can shift to a different profile like developer? How challenging it would be? This is a question from a Sadashiv. Sadashiv, so if you are working on a support profile, so how the first thing is how much of experience do you have, and the second thing is that how much programming background do you have? Whenever I'm saying AWS, yes, you have to work hard so that you can build that programming background, because guys, my intention is not to earn a money from you. No, this is not my intention. I'm very clear in things. So whenever I'm saying that we want to learn AWS, and say in the market if someone says that we do not require any programming background to work on AWS, so in simple words वो आपको बेवकूफ बना रहा है. We need to know how programming works in AWS. So Sadashiv, if you want to propel your career, join that course. I'll share a study material with you. You have to work hard. I'll make you comfortable in Python and Linux, and you can happily use those things with AWS. AWS is very easy, believe me. The thing is, the main part is how we can interact with all different services using programming language. That is the thing which you should know. वो सीख लिया तो काम हो जाएगा. So I'll make you comfortable, I'll make you understand, I'll make you pro that how you can use that. Okay, Sumesh, question is, I'm specially looking for admin as I'm from a support background. Yes, Sumesh, you can join that course. As I have already told you, I'm teaching you each and everything from a very basic. So admin part will be covered. Next question from Kanak. Kanak says, let me scroll it down. Kanak says, I'm currently working in ETL project. Which will this be helpful for me to have this course? Informatica and Unix. Kanak, as I already told you, doesn't matter in which profile you are working. If yes, you are a Unix, you have a good hand on Unix and Informatica, that means you are good in data analytics. If you are good in data analytics, yes, you can use AWS. As I told you, AWS is a platform, and on top of that platform, you can build anything. But it depends upon a kind of a project which you will be getting. But then yes, I do have a use cases. I do have a real-time use cases wherein we will be requiring your skills as well. That is a data analytics and a Unix. You must be having a good knowledge of how we understand that data. So you can continue with this course also. You can get a benefit out of it. That will always be an added advantage if you know any programming language, if you know any scripting language, and if you know any tools dealing with data or databases. Since AWS Architect Associate and Developer Associate, two different tracks practically, doesn't architect need to also do a development function in real world? So Rajveer Singh Khushwa, yes. If I talk about prior to 2018, there were two different requirements we were having in the market for architects and developers. But these days, as I told you, the current scenario is of, or current era is of infrastructure as a code. So you have to design an infrastructure and you have to also build that infrastructure using code. So these days you will not find any different or separate opening for architects. So to be very frank with you and to be on a very real note, you need to know architect part as well as a development part, Rajveer. Because if company will hire you as an architect, obviously they are expecting that you also know how to do a development stuff on it. Why a development stuff on it? Because to say today you have built a design and there are only 5 projects for which you have to build a design. You will be able to build that design for 5 projects. You will take maybe a month or maybe 2 months. What will you do after 2 months? So organization, they are expecting you that you will also deliver a development work. So nowadays you will find one opening, same opening for 2 different roles, that is architecture and development. Even in my organization in which I'm working, my job designation says that I'm a architect, but then yes, at the end of the day, what I'm doing, I'm designing my infrastructure and I'm also developing that infrastructure. Sushant, I am having 10 years working on the stock integration and planning to switch to AWS. While switching to an organization, will we have projects that can be explained in job interviews? Yes, Sushant. Yes, my each and every class is a project. So I'll be giving you a project each and every day, and I'm letting you know that how we can implement that. And you have to maintain a documents for those projects, and you can portray those projects in your resume. Does AWS certification has an expiry date? Yes, AWS certification has an expiry date. If you are giving your certification today, it will be valid for next 3 years. So in simple words, whenever you are giving any AWS exam, that will be sustained in the market for next 3 years. After 3 years, you have to renew that certification. That means your previous certification will get expired and you have to appear for new examination. I knew nothing about a language and a database, Nilesh. Okay, Nilesh, no worries. As I told you, I start my session with very basic things. Very, very basic things. So you will be able to grasp the things. If you have any question at any point of time, you can stop me. Even you can happily get in touch with my former students and you will get to know that what is my way of teaching. I'll give you very simple examples, guys, very, very simple examples. And from those simple examples, we will literally do a magic in AWS. Hi, this is Satish. I guess this AWS session are going to be online and this would be weekly. Can you please let me know how much time would it take to learn AWS complete course so that I can plan certification? Okay, Satish, yes, these are weekdays classes, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So I'll be taking your session, Satish, and these sessions will be a practical sessions. I'll be teaching you that how you can implement those scenarios, and at your home location you have to do that. Apart from that, how much time it will take? It will take 1.5 months, almost 6 weeks. How AWS will support for online transaction processing in banking sector? Narendra, yes, we do have a databases. I told you there are 6 relational databases which AWS supports. So you can happily use Oracle for your online transactions. I'm very new in this thing. So this is a question from Mrunal. I'm very new in this things. So what are necessary technical needs to enter in AWS? I told you I need you as an empty vessel and I'll fill that vessel. But then yes, I'm assuming that you must be a technical graduate. And why I'm asking this, you must be a technical graduate because to start with AWS, you must have very few basic information about the technicality of the things. That's why I'm saying I'm only assuming that you are a technical graduate. And if yes, you are a technical graduate, I'll fill that vessel with AWS, Linux, Python, and Terraform. Experience in front end. Shubham Chaudhary. Okay, Shubham, your question is not clear. Please reframe your question and I'll take that question later on. Neeraj Joshi. Will AWS certification help me to get an IT industry as a fresher? Yes, Neeraj, doesn't matter you are from any background. You must be the only thing is you must be a technical graduate. AWS certification help you to get through, or you can say that AWS certification will help you wherein your resume will be shortlisted. AWS certification only and only for showing a testimonial to the client that yes, the kind of associate which we are hiring as an organization that is already certified. So that is a testimonial which clients want. Your organization do not want your certification. At the back end, your client is the one who will look for your certification. And organization, if you will be already certified, so organization saves their cost to make you certified. So if they are getting a candidate who is already certified, they will definitely pick you up rather than picking up a guy on which they have to spend more 13,000 for the certification. Is networking background okay for AWS? Kriti, yes, Kriti, it's okay. Tell me as a project manager, what sort of role may I get into it if I learn AWS? As a project manager, you will get to know that which service takes how much time to build. It's not like that, say tomorrow, if you are managing a team and you will be having an AWS project, no one will be able to make you a fool by saying that this work will take 10 days or 15 days. With this course, you will get to know that how much time will be taken by a service to build the things on top of it. Sir, I have been working as a teacher since last 10 years. What are the chances of getting a AWS job after such a huge gap? Sagar Kotwal. Sagar, if you are working as a teacher from last 10 years, I want to know that in which sector you are teaching and what sort of subjects you are teaching. Please post me at the end of this question box tab. I'll take your question when you will clarify that question more. Sagar, as I can see, Sagar, please reframe your mathematics. Okay. Sagar, if you are working in mathematics, and your background, please, Sagar. You are graduated in, okay, MCA. Nice. Okay, so Sagar, for you, you have to do a lot of hard work if you want to come into IT. IT is a kind of a profession wherein you can enter at any time. But the thing is, you have to justify that for last 10 years what you have done. If you are not associated with any organization from last 10 years, if I'm saying organization, that means a IT organization. If you are not associated, then at that point of time you have to portray yourself in such a manner wherein you have to show what all use cases you have worked on, or in which manner and in how many ways you have contributed to this technical world. So there are so many things by which you can show that. First one is Stack Overflow. Second one is develop few of the technical things and upload into GitHub. Third thing is develop few use cases and upload that use cases into a S3 bucket. Why I'm telling all these things? Because at the end of the day, you have to do a hard work. You will do as a part of this class, you will do work on real-time projects. But then at the end of the day, you have to portray to an organization that I have done these things and I have contributed in technical world in this manner. So start building those things right away right now, so that you will be for next 3 or 4 months, you can build your profile. And in your profile, mention those projects as on a link for a GitHub, and as on a link for your S3 bucket, as on a link of a Dropbox, that these are the things which I have contributed. And if you want to know more on this, Sagar, you can happily get in touch with Kharadi branch. They will pass on my number and you can get in touch with me. Okay, I'm taking a question of Mahesh. I have worked in telecom industry for 3 years. I learned Linux. Can I get a job as a fresher after doing AWS? Yes, Mahesh, you will get that. If you have a good understanding on Linux, very bright chances that you will get that. Kawaljeet, what will be the tenure of this entire training? So I told you 6 weeks. Yes, these sessions will be recorded. We will be sharing all those recordings at the end of the session. So one question from Junaid, why to use cloud? So the simple answer is, if say today, if I want to do a renovation work at my home, I need a plumber, I need an electrician, I need a mason, I need a carpenter. So in today's world, I am having a one-stop solution which is known as Urban Clap. I'll simply open an Urban Clap, or I'll simply open a Just Dial. I will have all the contact details under one roof. So there is no need to get in touch individually with the vendors. There is only thing I need to use those applications, and all that information is available under one umbrella. And when I'm saying that I want to build any technical thing, any technical project, there is no need to get in touch with the different vendors, because you have one-stop solution present in a cloud. Simply open a cloud, start using it. That's it, and pay as you go. And there is nothing like that. You need to get into an agreement कि मुझे वो 3 साल तक इस्तेमाल करना ही है. नहीं. The only thing is you have to register, only pay as per your usage. That's why a cloud. Sir, one more question. If we complete certification as a fresher, how can we directly go and work on AWS? Amar, as an institute, you will be getting those calls from the institutes. Calls means you will be getting job listings and you have to apply and you have to go for the interview. Those job listings will be given by you by the Ethan's management. You will get that. Job assessment will be provided. Mahesh, no job assessment will be provided. You will only be provided with the information where the interviews are happening, where the openings are. You have to mention. Ethan will ask for your resume and they will share your resume with the clients, and you will be getting a job call. Obviously, you and there will be more candidates who will be appearing for interview. At the end of the day, you are the one who have to clear the interview. But then yes, Ethan will be providing you the job assistance only for interview purposes. They will tell you that at this place, at this point of time, they are XYZ organizations are conducting interviews and you have to go there and you have to appear for that. How I can show my experience in AWS? That I'll tell you after the classes, that how you can build your resume and how you can put your experience as an AWS developer. Will that past experience is useful? Yes, Nilesh. A past experience, whatever you have done in IT, that will be useful for you. Shubham Chaudhary, okay, I have 3 experience in SQL. I have already answered that question. Any plan for weekend batches for working professional? Yes, Chiranjeev, we are starting our batches for from I guess with today is 22 April. Yes, we are starting our batches next first week next month, and most probably the timings will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Those batches timings will be from 11 to 2 p.m. and those classes will run for 3 hours. 3 hours Saturday and 3 hours Sunday. So for that you need to get in touch with Ethan's Kharadi. They will be sharing that logistics with you. Guys, any more queries? Please go ahead. Guys, this is one-way communication is only and only for demo session. But then yes, when we will start our classes, that will be a two-way session. You will be getting soft copies for all the topics which we will be covering in a session for that particular day, and recordings will be shared after those sessions will happen. Okay, sorry, I was disconnected. Have you answered this question? Is there any effect of COVID-19 on cloud technology? Amar, right now I can't see any effect of COVID-19 on a cloud technology because I can see the hiring is already, continuing in most of the organizations. As Citibank is also hiring for cloud professionals, as this Credit Suisse is also hiring, even Barclays Chennai, they are also hiring, and TCS is also hiring, Tieto is also hiring. So I can see there are so many hirings. Amazon Development Center for Sungi, they are also hiring for Amazon Associates. So yes, there are hiring which is going on for cloud technologies. I'm not seeing any, any great effect of this COVID-19 on cloud technologies. Guys, queries, please. It's your time. Ask as many queries as you want. How much it would cost for AWS subscription? Okay, Paras, we are Indians and we are not going to pay anything for AWS subscription. We will create our account, we will use all those services, and we will do not pay a single penny for the subscription. How we will not be paying single penny, I'll teach you that. Not a problem. We will not pay a single penny for that. Which would be best organization to enter as a cloud engineer? Junaid, that purely depends upon a kind of a project which you will be getting. It's not organization dependent. So wherever you are getting a job for these cloud platform, simply go for it. Amar, what's your query? You have only written I have. Please reframe your query. Amar. Amar, please reframe your query. Okay, guys, if you are having no more queries, okay, can we build infrastructure in C#.NET? Any more questions? So it's really awesome interacting with you. You really deserve a pat on your back because it's really need a lot of courage and patience to listen someone, and that too from us last 1 hour. So thank you so much, guys. In this drastic situation, you are still attending me as a live as a online session. So thank you so much. I can see there is one more query, sir. There is a weekend batch. Will you be the trainer or someone else? Amar, I'll be the trainer for you for AWS for weekend and weekdays batches. So for weekend batches, yes, you need to get in touch with Kharadi branch of Ethan's. They will get to know that what all are the timings. For logistic things, please get in touch with them. And for any technical things, you can happily get in touch with me. You can get my contact number from any of the branch. And thank you so much, guys. I'm closing and wrapping up this session. If you have any further queries, you can get in touch with branch. They will redirect your queries to me. I'm happy to answer your queries. Thank you so much, guys. It's really need a lot of courage to attend that kind of session, and that too from last 1 hour. You really deserve a pat on your back. Thank you so much. Signing off. Bye-bye.